This is Mikey.
And I'm Garrison Rifen. This is Cinema Debrief. Welcome to Cinema Debrief. I'm Garrison Rifen here alongside my co-host, Mikey. How are you doing tonight, Mikey?
What is up, Garrison? I am having a wonderful day. It's been a very relaxing day. I am just about done with Spider Noir. And it's been okay. I'm not totally in love with the show, but Nick Cage has got all his fun Nick Cage-isms. So it's fun to watch. I'll say that, but I don't know. It's a little slower than I wanted it to be, but it's been good so far. So that's been most of my afternoon.
I need to check it out. Phil Lord, Chris Miller producing it.
Yes.
It's a Sony Spider-Verse thing in some way, but it's not exactly connected to the movies. But
right.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by Nicolas Cage being crazy, playing a sort of Peter Parker called Ben Reilly.
Like every time I watch a streaming show and I end up wanting to own it, I just hope that Amazon puts it out on a 4K disc, because it does look good. It looks really good, and the spider effects are great. They spent some money on this show, that's for sure. I mean, because it does look really good.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. I will tell you that I have not seen that. I still haven't finished Daredevil. I'm so behind on some of the Marvel stuff.
Sometimes with TV, it's hard. You got to just watch it when you can.
But I was intrigued by this article that came out from Aaron Couch at The Hollywood Reporter, talking about Backrooms audience this weekend, at least through Saturday that they had measured this through, which they will keep measuring these things throughout the weekend. But initial audiences, 86% of the audience is under 35 for Backrooms.
That tracks, yes.
More than half under 25. You and I would not be in the second half of that group. But no. I would be under the first half of that group.
That's interesting. Like, this seems like
rated R, by the way.
It is rated R, yes. And I'm trying to equate it as far as like a cultural touchstone for this age group, like the 35 and under. I mean, it seems like a really big deal to that age group for some reason. I guess a lot of it has to do with the YouTube show.
Well, it's not just the YouTube stuff that was done by Kane Parsons or Kane Pixels on YouTube. But it's also, so permeated into a bunch of different things. There are video games, like Roblox has a Backrooms thing. There's just a lot of different things that took the idea and kind of ran with it. But Kane obviously was the biggest on YouTube. His videos blew up. His first video, I think, has close to 100 million views, maybe. At the end of the day, that's the reason why he gets to direct the movie at 19 versus someone maybe more experienced and veteran in that position. He got $10 million to do it with a co-finance between A24 and I can't remember the name of that group, but it was on Bellamy's podcast, where they kind of went 50-50 with the budget. We're going to get into some of this later on. But
well, there was a lot of production houses involved. Like you had Sean Levy's production company, 21 North. You had Atomic Monster, and the Peter Cernan group or whatever. So there a lot of, and even before that, before those three production companies got involved, I think Osgood Perkins is one of the producers as well.
Yep, I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah, I think he was one of the early producers.
Early ones, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and it's a guy. So Kane directed the movie. Kane, I believe, previs the whole movie himself in Blender, which he did the original series on YouTube in Blender, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Yeah.
And so he's experienced with VFX, which helps your VFX houses, by the way, when you have an idea of exactly what you want. But also at the same time, there's a lot of practical. We should save some of this for later. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But the phenomenon,
phenomenon.
It's crazy. It's going to open to 80-something million. The tracking has kind of gone up and down, but but it started at like 30 or something weeks ago.
Yes, yeah.
And then it jumped to like 65 this week. And now on Friday night, there were some people saying 90. It's now gone down to closer to 80 to 85, which is still, for a $10 million movie is phenomenal.
It's just insane. And that happening at the same time as the Obsession phenomenon is quite amazing, to be honest.
And the thing about Obsession, they may gross. We'll see what they wind up grossing at the end of the day.
Right.
I'm not going to call one or the other, but I'll say they may gross around the same amount. But Obsession is also just a different phenomenon in that it is one of the only movies I've ever seen in my lifetime that has grown from week 1 to week 2 to week 3.
Yeah,
and the daily grosses get bigger and bigger and bigger, and people are loving the movie. The cinema score and Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Obsession is fantastic, one of the highest I've seen in a long time. And then you look at Backrooms, or we'll get into some of that in a bit, but it's not as audience pleasing. I think it's going to drop a little bit hard. But,
I would agree with that. Yeah,
its built-in audience came out big in weekend one.
Yeah, it's very much like the Mark Pillar, Mark whatever his name is. I mean, the Iron Lung movie. They had all
Markiplier.
Markiplier. They had these online people that came out strong for a couple weeks with Iron Lung, really. And they're probably, like you said, I think once everybody sees it one time. Again, we probably need to talk about this later in the episode, but I don't feel there's much rewatchability to it.
No, I don't think so either.
Whereas
I think Obsession
oozes rewatchability. I enjoyed it just as much my second time as I did my first time. My first time, I was just gobsmacked because it was just an impressive movie. Second time, I was able to watch for some different things. There were some different camera choices that Barker made that I caught the second time that I didn't catch. It was all just really well done. It's just masterfully done for a guy who, cut his teeth on YouTube videos.
Yeah. I took a date to go see it in between our last episode, and she enjoyed the movie a lot. And when we talked about it afterwards, it's funny because there was only one moment that made her jump. And she told me, she was like, I was just waiting for that moment the whole time, and it still got me.
No, exactly, because...
And you know which one that is.
Because Barker has no problem letting things breathe.
Yeah.
And I miss that in movies because it doesn't happen much anymore. Now, you can do it wrong, which we'll talk about later with Backrooms, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, sometimes if you it's got to be like perfect timing, letting it breathe a little bit, and Barker he's just knows what he's doing, and he's only in his mid-20s, I think. So.
Yeah, and there's a sensibility in there to me, and I don't know if I had thought about it until we started talking about it after the movie.
Yeah,
where a lot of it's plays like a romance movie. I mean, the beginning of it's very much a romance movie.
Totally.
But then that scene that she jumped at is played kind of like a romance movie too. Until you get to
it definitely is.
that point.
Well, I mean, now that the movie's been out for 3 weeks, I like my favorite scene in the movie. I don't mind spoiling it because, I mean, we've told our audience to go see it, and a lot of people that are in our Discord have seen it now. So I don't mind spoiling necessarily. My favorite part is when he's in the car opening that letter from Sarah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the part that made her jump.
Well, I'm talking about the second.
You're talking about post that.
Post. Yeah. I'm talking post. That is honestly, even watching it again, that is honestly my favorite scene in the movie. Just when they show that she got in to the school, and he just lets his emotions go after that. And I just think, I was like, no filmmaker his age would be willing to show something like that and just letting the audience experience it with Bear, because that's what it was. We were getting to experience that with Bear, and it was just, I loved that scene so much.
And directly after that, he plays with some tropes where he goes straight into the shop, and the guy's like, I've never heard of that.
Great scene. That is a great scene too.
And it's one of those things where like, oh, it's like that classic thing they do where nobody remembers that item that he bought, and it doesn't. And really
I love
exist.
The fact that really the only recognizable person in the film is Sarah's dad, Andy Richter.
Yes.
They could have probably had a cameo for that second shop owner or that second shop clerk. and they didn't, because I'm glad that that wasn't somebody recognizable, because that guy did a great job the way he delivered his lines, and just
you can't come in here like that, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I didn't recognize that guy. Maybe some people did,
Nope.
but I did not recognize that guy at all, and he did such a good job.
They're all small actors except for Andy Richter.
Yeah,
Andy Richter's obviously not like a huge actor.
No,
but
he's just
recognizable.
He must be doing a favor, or must somebody. I don't know what the deal with him being in the movie is. It's just weird, but I'm obsessed with Obsession. It is a great movie.
Me too.
Yeah,
I've seen it 3 times in theaters. I hope that they delay the digital release, but if they don't, I want to see the uncut scene that he cut down, and I do hope it's put out there with the release.
Yeah, maybe they'll do like one battle after another and go ahead and release a 4K, but then also have a steelbook several months later that has a bunch of additional stuff on it that the original 4K release didn't. So maybe because I think Universal is probably savvy enough to understand what's going on, and I think they'll have a pretty special physical release for it at some point.
I agree. Yeah, no steelbook yet, but yeah, we'll keep our eye out.
Yeah, for sure.
I accidentally left the steelbook Discord. I have to get back in real quick.
Yeah, you need to get back in that because I need that news. No, I mean it is wild. And I'm sitting here wearing a Star Wars shirt to see the potential. It's not like official yet, but the potential that in its second week, Star Wars is going to be third place behind Backrooms and Obsession. Yeah, I mean, it's not like totally official, but it is looking that it's definitely going to be that way.
Yeah. I think really, and unfortunately, if it were a better movie, that would help. But also, it's the TV to movie thing that I think hurts it as well.
People know it's going to be on Disney Plus. Yeah.
I mean, if it's going to be on Disney Plus eventually, and it's a TV show. I don't go see that in the movie theater necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of things that kind of play with the mentality there. But also, if it were just a spectacular film, I think the drop would be much different this weekend.
Well, and it's just the Obsession thing is just impressive, not only because it's still making as much money as it is, but is in far less theaters than Star Wars. I mean, and so it's just, and it's in smaller theaters now too, because you had two you had Pressure and The Breadwinner and Backrooms all come out this week, taking probably the bigger theaters at these multiplexes. Obsession inside theaters, it was in a pretty small. The one that Earl and I saw it in was a pretty small theater. And so they're selling out. I mean,
I'm interested to see how it does next week, because you've got a bunch of big releases next week too.
I mean, week 4 is just gravy. I mean, all of this is just gravy at this point. But I mean,
it was gravy after weekend too.
That's true.
They're in a good spot. They're going to hit 100 million domestic already this weekend, I believe. Which is crazy for a movie that was shot for $750K, bought for $15 at TIFF, which is the most expensive film I think to ever be sold out of TIFF. Which means there was a bidding war for it. Which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, somebody knew something. I mean, so the people that were bidding on that thing, because Focus.
Well, it played at TIFF, and it got runner up to Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. In the Midnight Madness category.
It should have won, by the way. But not that I have seen the other one, but I mean, come on, Obsession was just amazing.
Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie is a Canadian film.
You're right.
It's TIFF, and I haven't seen it yet, but I've also heard it's hilarious. So
I'll watch it eventually. I mean, it'll be on some streaming service at some point that I'll watch it on. I'm not going to rent it, but I don't know. Obsession is just so good. I'm surprised it didn't win. But anyways, I want to talk about
your off the shelf.
I want to talk about At Close Range, because this was another movie that I just freaking adored. I loved this movie. It's very much what I would call like a modern noir. That's kind of like the vibe of it. Based on a true story of this family, I guess. If you're talking about Christopher Walken and his brothers and his crew, one of which was David Strathairn, a much younger David Strathairn was in his crew, and they are I wouldn't call them like small time crooks, because they are like making a ton of money in this Pennsylvania town.
Yeah, but it's a small community.
Pennsylvania town, and the community knows that he's a criminal. They just haven't been able to get him on anything yet.
Yeah.
And he's like stealing tractors and has all these different money schemes and he's got nice cars, and he goes to restaurants and eats lobster with his crew in front of the sheriff. I mean, he's very bold, and I think that Christopher Walken was just freaking amazing in this movie, because he was just doing all the things that you want Christopher Walken. Like when you're watching a Christopher Walken movie, you want to see him be very flamboyant, and he has this way of being really like funny, laughable, but then super menacing, and he can turn that on and off.
Yeah.
And that's just, and then another thing that he does, because Chris Walken, he was, before Sam Rockwell was the guy that danced in every movie, Chris Walken was that way, and he had a few little moments where you got to see some dance steps. And if you're watching a Chris Walken movie and he does some dance steps, you know you're watching a good movie.
Yeah.
But I love the way that the movie started also. I mean, I when I immediately saw Sean Penn and I heard that Madonna, and the Madonna song was used really well, and it was probably expensive to use, and so they used it really throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
Just in key moments, just using a little bits of the song.
Yeah.
Not
so
even
like the score.
Not even the lyrics. It's almost like the score. Yeah. I mean, there is a composer who does do, Patrick Leonard, I think is the guy's name, who does the score. But
Patrick Leonard is he's a songwriter who did work on Madonna with True Blue, Who's That Girl, Like a Prayer, I'm Breathless, and Ray of Light.
Yeah. So her song,
her guy.
Yeah, her song is really used well throughout. Although as you're watching it, you're like, wait a minute, this movie's supposed to take place in 1978, and you've got an 80s, very 80s sounding score in a way. Even like the synth score that is in certain parts of the film, so that there's a little bit of, but it works somehow. I don't know why it works. It just worked. And you've got Sean Penn's character, who is, he's sort of lost in life, not really accomplishing much, still lives at his mom's house, with his grandmother living there as well. He and his brother, but played by Chris Penn, so his brother is actually in the movie with him, which is cool. And his father is
looks
not
like him too.
Yeah, very much. His father is not around. His father is played by Chris Walken, and father shows up every once in a while, it seems. And that's another thing, like, it doesn't handhold the audience. You get this picture of that Sean Penn's character knows the dad, but the younger brother had never really seen him before, didn't really know what was going on, when he just randomly showed up at the house and said, here's some money for your mom. And then he starts to build this relationship with Sean Penn's character. I'll throw some character names out just because, I mean, they're fun, but Brad Jr. and Brad Sr. There you go. I mean, and so Brad Jr. kind of gets involved in the crew, basically. And the crew's not necessarily jazzing with it. They don't really dig it, but he's there because he's his son, and they can't say anything against Brad Sr. because he's the leader of the crew.
Yeah.
You've got a very young Mary Stuart Masterson, who is the love interest, and she is still in high school in the film. And Sean Penn, much older, sort of sweeps her off her feet, and I would venture to say probably manipulates, not necessarily in a horrible way, but she kind of falls for him pretty quick because it's an older guy paying attention to her, and she wants to go away with him, leave her mom's house. We never meet her mom, I don't think. Maybe one time. But it's very much shot in that noir style where you've got lots of really great lighting in it. There were some great scenes, natural lighting through windows, sort of backlit. It looked really good. I've got the 4K, so I don't know what it looks like on Prime. I'm sure it looks good because I'm sure they're broadcasting the 4K. I would hope they are. But the 4K disc,
it looks
great,
pretty good. I think it's probably the 4K transfer.
Yeah, the
Amazon.
4K. Gosh, the 4K disc looked great. Cinematograph did, or Vinegar Syndrome Cinematograph is their sub label, but they did such a good job on that transfer. I mean, it looked so good on disc, and just really bad stuff starts to happen. Obviously, the crew that Sean Penn has is interesting too, because you've got Crispin Glover, who must have been coming right off of Back to the Future with this, because Back to the Future was 85 and this was 86, so he could have filmed them concurrently. I don't know, or close to each other, but he's very close. Crispin Glover, he's just very eccentric on screen, and he's just a weird guy, like just really weird guy. You have Kiefer
like
Sutherland. No. Yeah, kind of like real life. Exactly. Yeah, he's in trouble right now, I think.
Is he?
I think so, yeah. Kiefer Sutherland also in this, but correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't have one line that I can remember.
I was going to come on here and say, what the heck was what was he doing? I saw him on screen and I did not remember him speaking at all. And I was like, you have Kiefer Sutherland there, Donald Sutherland's son.
Yeah.
A guy who became something big later. But
so this was before Lost Boys, before Young Guns.
Lost Boys was 86 as well, wasn't it? No, it's 87.
It was 87. I want to say Young Guns was 86. So, I mean, I guess maybe he wasn't huge yet. But still, you're right. Donald Sutherland was. And so it's just strange that he had zero lines, and he was more just about vibes. Yeah. Like there's a scene towards the end where they do one close up on him, and he's just about vibes.
Before they enter the courtroom.
Enter the courtroom, yeah.
It just focuses on his face, and I'm like, what's he been doing this whole movie?
Yeah, exactly. Crispin Glover got a lot to do. David Strathairn, he had only a few lines also. He didn't have much going. It's funny, at the beginning when we meet the crew, they for whatever reason, Brad Sr.'s like, yeah, he has epilepsy. And you're like, okay. And that we see that later in the film, like he has an epileptic seizure later in the film. And we're like, is that really the only reason you have this character have epilepsy, just so you can show him have? And it wasn't even in a scene that was consequential, where it was during a job or something. He was laying down in bed and had an epileptic seizure. And you're like, okay, well, I guess that's why they told us he had epilepsy at some point, just so they could film that. So there were some weird choices with all the characters, but everybody in the crew was great. Now, did you recognize the long-haired brother? He is Lawrence from Batman. The longer, sort of talks Southern. Yeah, he's Lawrence from Batman 89. He plays like Joker's right-hand man or whatever. So he's
he's the boombox guy.
Okay. Yeah, he's one of those character actors that was around a lot in the 80s and 90s and stuff. Just one of those guys that if you want to have like if you want to have just an interesting looking guy in your movie, he's just one of those guys that was in a lot of those movies in the 80s and 90s. I thought my favorite scene in the movie, which I mentioned it in my Letterboxd, is the push-in scene where they're jabbing at Brad Sr. and he's sitting at the table motionless. This is towards the end of the film, probably like third act. All this craziness. They've killed everybody. They've killed like all of Brad's crew, and Foley just does this push-in scene on Walken, and Walken is just like still, like not moving at all, and while everybody around him is yelling and like having conversation and stuff. And it was really great, just a noir type of scene where you're just slow push into him. He's still, he's the center focus of the scene, even though everybody around him's yelling and screaming and stuff. And I just really got a lot more out of this movie than I thought I was going to. I mean, it had a high rating on like IMDb, so I expected it to be pretty good, but I enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5. I enjoyed it quite a bit. What was your take on it?
My first initial impression of the film wasn't even about the quality of the film. It was watching Christopher Walken in the 80s. It's been a while since I've done that.
Yeah.
And you forget that the impressions are exaggerated when you listen to Christopher Walken actually talk, because he can actually talk.
Oh yeah,
without the giant pauses. But he gives,
he's great.
Yeah, he gives a fantastic performance, and I think we are a little delayed between each other right now.
Oh, are we? Oh no.
But it's fine. The final scene, the confrontation between them, the showdown scene, was a really good, powerful scene. The only thing that bothered me about that scene was I was wondering how many bullets were in that gun that he continually fires and fires and fires and fires.
Yeah. It does make me wonder if perhaps that if he had decided to take one last shot up close, that it would have been empty. They could have made.
Yeah, I do like the decision to make. Yeah, I do like the decision to make him kind of woozy there and have him not, be able to really do anything at that moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I was surprised with as many shots as was taken at that car that he was still kicking.
I was wondering, but every time they cut to him getting hit, he got hit in like the shoulder or whatever. So he never got hit in a major place. But the girl got, just lit up.
She was. So, and that's another thing that just a gutsy choice. I mean, to have her brutally murdered. I was surprised. I was like, dang, this is pretty raw. I mean, not that the movie leading up to that had been something where you think that they wouldn't have done that, but I was kind of shocked just to have her brutally murdered like that. Was quite interesting. But it elevated the film because they were making kind of gutsy choices that a lot of films wouldn't have necessarily made, that were doing the same type of thing. And so I don't know. I really thought that it was well done. A great modern noir. I really, it makes me kind of interested to watch some other stuff from James Foley, but looking at his filmography, like I mentioned last episode, really the only other great thing that he has done is Glengarry Glen Ross. And he was kind of maybe a director for hire in that situation. Maybe not necessarily totally creatively involved. And everything.
He did the 50 Shades films. So
yeah, he's so towards the end of his career, it looks like it was definitely a director for hire in those 50 Shades films. I mean, because he's just I guess maybe he did. I've never seen those movies, but I get the sense that maybe there was some noir type stuff going on in those films, that maybe they thought he could add some interesting shot selection and interesting choices maybe with those 50 Shades movies, but those are just such garbage that they even exist. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't. I mean, they were very popular books, I guess.
We can thank Twilight for that. So
yeah, unfortunately we can. But yeah, I mean, look, I haven't necessarily hit a lot of home runs with my off the shelf picks. But I think that this one is a worthy watch for anybody that likes modern noir. I think it's a good, even though it takes place in Pennsylvania in the 70s, you don't necessarily feel totally modern noir about that setting. But trust me, it works. I mean, and the way it's shot, it's there. I mean, you can tell it's there. So I'm very interested. Are we staying in the Criterion collection with yours?
Yeah, that would be great if I had prepared exactly what I was going to say here.
Okay.
But I will delay for just 1 second just to make sure it's streaming. No, I'm not going to continue in Criterion, although it's only streaming with ads on one thing. But I'm going to do Dark City from.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I own that, but I don't have I've got the old Blu-ray copy, so I'll watch that.
I've got the Arrow.
Yeah, the Arrows I've heard is really good.
Yeah. The Arrow 4K, which has both the theatrical and the director's cut. And I'm going to try to watch both if I can.
Ah, okay. All right. That's a, hey, I would call this a modern noir as well, like big time.
Yeah.
Like It's really good. It's really, really good. Very.
You've seen it before?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a very popular film when it came out, and sci-fi. It's good. It's got the story of it. Yeah, it's a good movie. I think you'll enjoy it, and I think our audience, if they haven't seen it already, will enjoy it, or like me, enjoy a rewatch of it, because I haven't rewatched that movie in 20 years. So I mean, I'll look forward to pulling the old Blu-ray out and putting that in the player and watching it.
It's written and directed by Alex Proyas, who maybe you don't know the name, but you would know the films he did. At least the bigger ones like Crow and iRobot.
Yeah.
Specifically.
I think, was he involved in Riddick, the first Riddick, Pitch Black? I don't know.
I don't know. See it, but
okay. No, that was David Bowie. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, Proyas is good. Yeah. He's got a way to shoot.
He was involved in Gods of Egypt, so not the best late career, but
I mean, it's what happens when you're not getting work. You got to do something. I mean, you know. But he did have a string of very popular movies. Yes.
Yeah. And Dark City kind of became, I think, a cult classic, because I don't think it made money at the box office.
No, it definitely didn't. It is much more of what I would call, you're right, like a cult classic. No, it definitely didn't make. It wasn't like a huge hit.
It was a budget of 27, box office of 27.2. So
our second Kiefer Sutherland movie in a row.
Is Kiefer in that?
He's in Dark City. Yeah,
I did not know that.
He's basically the co-lead.
Okay.
To Rufus Sewell.
Yes, I did know he was the lead.
Yeah, Rufus, and
who has a very punchable face.
Did you see who one of the screenwriters is? I didn't realize this. David Goyer. David S.
Oh,
Goyer.
Okay. David S. Goyer of Dark Knight fame, of Blade fame.
Some people don't love
of Man of Steel fame.
Yeah, some people don't love David Goyer.
I am up and down. I don't think he means I don't think it means a bad thing if he's on a film. It could, but he's been a part of plenty of bad films.
It's like you hear his name and Simon Kinberg's name, and you're like, you sort of cringe a little bit, even though they've both done good work in the past.
Yeah,
because Kinberg, I think, wrote Days of Future Past, if I'm not mistaken. He was the screenwriter for that.
Yeah.
So Kinberg also has done good work, but he's done a lot of. But he also did Dark Phoenix.
They're like worse versions of David Koepp to me.
Right, exactly.
Well, like Koepp has written some like crazy good cinema,
but then Mercy,
and then.
So I mean, I think he did Mercy. Yeah.
I don't remember if he did Mercy, but he did Rebirth last year, which was apparently just
that's
one
the
draft,
one where everybody. Yeah. Look,
and he's written some the Mummy in 2017, and
people are excited about Disclosure Day though, and he wrote that.
Yeah, I am too, because I don't think Spielberg would let him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like Spielberg would not let him do a bunch of drafts. And in fact, he said, I think they did like 42 drafts or something of the film. So
right, exactly. I mean, so yeah, I think it's probably fine-tuned to what Spielberg wanted.
Yeah.
And so, because he gets the story by credit. Yeah, he gets the story by credit. So, but no, I'm very, very much looking forward to watching Dark City again. And that is a solid pick. And next week we finally delve into my Criterion collection.
Awesome.
And I've got about 6 Criterion films in my collection that I haven't seen. I know you've got more, but yeah, with with my Criterion, for most of my purchasing of stuff in that is stuff I've already seen. But there's about 6 that I'm just like, all right, I kind of like inherited in a way. Like I bought a Laserdisc collection that had some Criterion in it that I haven't seen. And then I was gifted a DVD collection that had 1 or 2 Criterion in it that I hadn't seen. Okay. But most of my Blu-ray and 4K is stuff that I have already seen. So most of what's going to be coming from my Criterion collection is Laserdisc and DVD. So I'm very excited about having to get my Laserdisc player fired up, because I haven't watched anything on it since I watched the original trilogy last year sometime.
I remember.
guess.
Yeah, I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you want to get into the Backrooms?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that we have a lot to say about this, because I don't know. I mean, I was not blown away by it. First, I'll talk about the theatrical experience that I had. A lot of young, like we mentioned at the top of the show. I would venture to say most of the people in my theater. I went to a 9:15 showing, and most of them looked like probably 25 and under. I mean, I was skewing young. Now, I will give a shout out to the Birmingham, Alabama locals that are 25 and under. They were locked in. They did not, they weren't disruptive at all. Like, there was no snickering, there was no like silliness. It wasn't like I was seeing the Minecraft movie, because man, that was quite an experience seeing the Minecraft movie with a bunch of 25 and unders when I went to that screening originally. But yeah, these people were like, must have been fans of what did he call himself? Kane
Pixels.
Yeah. So these people were all probably aware of what they were about to watch more than I was, because I was not aware of this whole liminal space thing at all, other than I played some video games in the 90s that reminded me of this, like Myst kind of reminded me of this whole thing. And I've never been into the concept of creepypasta. I'm just, I don't know. The whole vibe of it. Now, I think it was very well acted. I think Chiwetel Ejiofor was phenomenal.
When you've got the worst girl in the world and Chiwetel Ejiofor in there.
Renata Rinsett, she was fantastic as well. There was a couple other people in the cast, but really not that many. The big 7 foot tall guy was good.
He was behind a bunch of makeup, but yeah,
behind a bunch of makeup,
CGI, whatever it was.
Yeah, no, I think it was practical.
I think some of it was CGI when he's on top of her.
Oh well, yeah, you're probably right.
I think that is CGI.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe I'm wrong. That'd be impressive if it were.
So, you being quite a bit younger than me, explain this whole thing to me. Like, why is this movie a phenomenon?
So I am Gen Z. I was born in 97. But 97 is like the top of Gen Z. So the Backrooms trend I saw, but it never really hit with me.
Gotcha.
And I'm not saying that, like, I just never really gave it a shot. I saw that it existed. I saw that it was out there. If you go to his account, Kane Pixels account, and you go to his more popular videos, you can see them all there. And they've got millions and millions of views, 80 million views on his original video, which is crazy. But it was a 4chan thing where somebody posted a photo of this business, which the business still exists, and they get visitors nowadays who ask to see the kind of spot. But I think the original business I don't know this for a fact, but I think the original business had been cleared out. And so there's just this empty building, and it looked kind of creepy when you took a picture under that fluorescent lighting or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's got like a go-kart track or cart track or something there. It's I don't know exactly what it is, but they took this picture. Somebody wrote a text. So somebody took the picture, posted it online. Someone on 4chan then took it and posted it on 4chan. And then somebody under that posted a whole thing about how, you just transported into this world basically. And essentially the end of it talks about how there's a thing that can hear you and you're running out of time, blah, blah, blah. And so from there, people started writing their own stories and making their own stories. And Kane's became the biggest, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, so
he
far
created this whole world inside that world with that science company Async, like we saw in the movie. That's a part of his YouTube stuff. It's just this unexplored world that they don't fully understand, which I think is good, because I think if you try to explain this kind of thing too much, it's going to get too convoluted.
Right.
and
Yeah.
and probably kind of dumb.
And that's what he has said in I watched 2 interviews with him, and that's what he has alluded to, that he doesn't want the lore to be explained too much. And because look, the reality of the situation is it's going to be impossible for this not to spawn sequels.
Yeah, it's going to be an IP. There are takes this weekend about how IP is dead. Backrooms is now an IP. As soon as a sequel happens, it's an IP.
And the first A24 IP. I mean, I don't think off the top of my head,
unless you consider Ari Aster an IP.
I don't consider it.
No, I wouldn't. But
yeah, and I don't think he would consider himself. But no, I see what you're saying. But no, I mean, so this look, A24 is going to milk this for all it's worth. They've got a television branch. I would see television shows.
Yeah,
there's a television show coming.
The thing is, it's so expansive, it's so gigantic, it's so unexplained that you could really do anything with it.
Yeah.
There's no rules that we know about necessarily.
We couldn't. I couldn't necessarily tell anything. I suppose, and I mean, it's so new, we're not going to necessarily spoil anything, but I suppose the very last shot of the film maybe alluded to some type of rules involved in the movie, but
to me it says, and maybe I'm taking this wrong, I don't know the lore of Backrooms necessarily. But to me it says that if you go in there without the hazmat suit, that maybe it's more likely to create a copy.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Interesting.
Create a memory.
Yeah, exactly, a memory. And I guess we have to mention also that Mark Duplass is in the film.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, like, he is. I had heard that he was in the film, and then I kept waiting, and I was like, oh, okay, there he is for 1 second. There he is for 2 seconds. His
character is important.
Yeah. Not on screen a lot.
He's not on screen a lot. There's a couple of scenes with him. Well, it's really in 3 different scenes. The second scene that we see him in was interesting to me because he was somewhat shocked by something he saw on a television. And I found that to be interesting because I didn't understand.
He had previously viewed him on the camera in an earlier scene.
Right, but the thing that he saw, like, why would he have been, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't understand why he would have been shocked by what he saw on the television, because I thought that they knew.
Well, and maybe it was the thing you see at the end where it has a memory of that thing.
I
and maybe they had already discovered that place in the back rooms.
I gotcha.
And so he was shocked by that, plus the guy on TV.
Yeah.
Kind of was putting 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, putting 2 and 2 together. Exactly. I think that it's a great, it's tough not to compare Obsession and this. Only because you've got 2 very young filmmakers that Parsons being really young, like he was 19 when he shot the film.
He was, I'm pretty sure he was 17, 18 when he signed the deal, and just directed it at 18, 19, releasing it 20, 21.
It's things that don't happen. Like that does not happen necessarily. They took a big risk, or I guess maybe it was a calculated risk on the kid. And
well, no, it's everything's a calculated risk in Hollywood, but
that's true. Yeah.
There's no way you knew it would be this big.
No, I don't think they knew it would be this big. But he's really, if you listen to him in interviews, you can tell that he's got a pretty unique intelligence.
Yeah.
But also he's just so young, like he has no idea about anything in the world. Like it's just like he's grown up online. I mean, and so like even some Gen Xers, like I would say I like kind of grew up online, but online back in the 90s was very different than what most Gen Z and Gen Alpha have grown up doing, which is, very YouTube based, very TikTok based, very different type of online than us Gen Xers. And so
we're not in news groups.
Right, BBSs. Exactly. There was no dial-up.
Yeah.
That's what I was surprised, because this movie takes place in the 90s.
Yes.
And we never hear a dial-up modem the whole time.
Well, it's being created by a guy who's not born until the 2000s.
I know. But I wanted to hear one. I just wanted to hear one dial-up modem.
It's the 90s aesthetics for him, obviously.
It is, and from what I understand, like, Gen Z is fascinated with 90s aesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, my kid, my older kid, loves 90s grunge rock. Like, she is obsessed with it. And it's just really weird. I'm like, we were listening to not necessarily grunge, but Lithium. If you've got Sirius XM, a Radiohead song came on, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen them twice in concert. And she was like, what? You've seen Radiohead? Like, yes, they've been around forever. I've seen Radiohead. And I was like, yeah, I've seen Pearl Jam like 3 times. What? You've seen Pearl Jam? She's like, why are you? But I don't know. So I guess this age group is just, for some reason, fascinated by things of the 90s. And I don't necessarily understand it.
Yeah,
but
I think kids my age, and I don't know, maybe I'm feeling like that was more the world when I was growing up in high school, was more like 80s focused in terms of the nostalgia.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like
a decade later, you got 90s nostalgia focus.
Maybe that's some of it. I mean, I don't think that I was ever fascinated with the 70s. I don't think I can say that I ever was. Like, I do like 80s music. I listen to the First Wave station on Sirius XM, and just that's my kind of 80s music. But yeah, it's just strange. Like, this whole thing's a bit strange to me. And so I also, Earl and I did a double feature, so I also saw it with Earl, and we were both like, when you're coming down from like the high of obsession, because Backrooms is just a very different movie. I mean, and I'm not saying it was like poorly made. It's very well acted. It accomplishes what it wants to accomplish well.
Yeah. It's slow, it's pondering, but I just, you know, the difference to me was Obsession freaked me out in a good way, but it freaked me out.
Yeah.
And Backrooms, I could sit there the whole time, not really freaked out. And I get that that's not necessarily, it's trying to evoke horror in different ways.
Yeah.
But I did want to be a little more scared coming out of Backrooms.
Yeah.
And it
I think a lot of the choices with the camera work, and this just might be just because he is so young, like a lot of the, what do you call, like the fisheye lens that he was using a lot, like in the small spaces, like when he was shooting, especially when he was shooting Renata. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I'll stick up for that. I liked some of
that,
some of the playing with the visuals that he did, because he was clearly experimenting.
No, he totally was. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, it's just amazing. Like the creation of the set is just, it's like they built this 40,000 square foot set or something.
I don't know how big it is, but I know it's a physical set, which is awesome. And,
it is,
and that's the difference between Obsession and Backrooms. You can see the budgets. Backrooms has an 11 times budget essentially.
Yeah, basically.
And like the scope when you watch Backrooms, I mean, it's a gigantic set.
Sure.
And it plays with, it's not in widescreen, it's in 1.85, I believe, but it plays with a wider sense than Obsession does, which is fine because Obsession is a smaller scale story, focused on specifically small group of people, and it's a very intimate film. So this one tries to make you feel claustrophobic sometimes, but it's got a big scale.
And the other thing that I unfortunately could not really connect with is the characters. Like, I didn't dig the whole story, in all honesty.
I didn't really feel like, and I know this is sometimes a complaint that happens with maybe the prequel trilogy or whatever, but I didn't really feel the descent into madness for the one character that happens with.
Right. I
and
agree.
So when it like kind of finally comes up, it's kind of like, okay, I get how he could get there. But all of that happened really off screen.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right.
most of the time we saw him, he was a guy who was disgruntled, but he wasn't like that.
Right. Yeah, it was. and the reason he was disgruntled, is old news type stuff. I mean, it's like, yes, sure, rough life. Sorry, buddy. But it's nothing abnormal that a lot of people deal with in different ways. But, I don't know. There's just, I wanted to like it just because of the phenomenon of it, but I could not really connect with the film. But also, to be fair, I've never watched 1 second of any of Kane Pixel's videos.
I technically haven't. Well, I think I have at some point, but not fully.
Yeah, I've not watched 1 second of it.
I think the movie works best, and I want to give it a shot. I gave it a 6 out of 10, and
okay.
But I think the movie works best when it's in the VHS camcorder. Whether it's the beginning of the film with the async scientist, or later on with the group going into the Backrooms. Those to me are the actually creepiest, most effective scenes.
So I mean, and that's not necessarily. I mean, obviously, Paranormal Activity did that well. A lot of that felt like you were watching a VHS, basically. And there's been other movies that have done that well. I think that it's I mean, it's good.
I think it works well because it's harder to see everything. Specifically that scene with the Christmas tree room.
That was a weird scene.
I think a lot creepier on the VHS than it would have been if we just been able to see everything.
So what we mean is there's a handheld aspect to it because one of the characters has a camcorder, and think in your brain 90s camcorder. So this is like an old style, probably big handheld camcorder, because there's 2 younger characters in this that kind of work at this furniture store that Chiwetel Ejiofor, owns or is the manager of or whatever. And he involves them in scavenging through the Backrooms, basically. And there's some good stuff when they fall down into a bottom floor in the Backrooms with the camcorder. So I agree that stuff did work well, better than when you're not on the camcorder stuff. On the handheld stuff. So
and I know that he's trying to get into all this psychological stuff with the literal psychologist and her background and not telling you but showing you, which I appreciate. But it just on the whole, it just didn't. And specifically that Descent into Madness just did not work for me.
Yeah, and I think the struggle there, and I know that he did not write the screenplay. He
didn't.
He definitely worked close with the screenwriter, obviously, to impart the story that he was wanting to tell. And so it would be interesting, and I don't think that he is willing to do this in interviews, but explain like how much of this story was contrived by him, or if this screenwriter, understanding the world that Kane has built, wanted to show a small story within the world of these 2 people. The problem is, at least for me, and maybe others are going to feel different, is I didn't necessarily care about the characters. And so if you don't care about what's happening to these characters, then it's going to be a hard sell. Most people are just going to see the Backrooms, though. Like that's the whole thing. They don't even necessarily care about the story. They just want to see the Backrooms on film or whatever. And that's fair. That's fair. I'm not a part of that fanatic or whatever that have seen all of the Backroom stuff. So this is big for them. So it is like a cultural touchstone moment for this younger generation that has grown up on 4chan and YouTube and like has sort of followed the trajectory of all of this stuff to this point. It's probably a really big deal for them. I don't necessarily have anything that I can equate that to, but I can understand why it's such a big deal to the younger generation to see something that they have been following on 4chan, Reddit, YouTube for like their whole teenage years, basically.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's a big deal for them, and I understand that, and that's why it's doing so well financially.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to open huge, and it's a big hit with the kids, which is interesting. It's an R-rated film. If you removed like all but one or two F-bombs, you could easily secure, I think, a PG-13 rating in this. There's not the gore is not up in your face.
No, it's not.
There's not a lot of blood splatter. It's really a PG-13 movie that just has language to me.
So I guess that I guess making sure that it's rated R is titillating to like the younger generation. And so they I think it's probably a wise marketing choice to go ahead and just make it rated R.
But I will tell you, there were several groups of kids in my theater. I don't think they ID'd anybody going into that movie.
They probably didn't.
Which is funny, but at the same time, I was like, how did these kids get in?
Yeah, I don't think that there was any super, like, I'm trying to remember in our screening, I don't think there was any like super young kids in ours. Like, it was all like college aged, like maybe maybe junior, senior high school type stuff. Like, it's not super young. But again, like, props to my local young kids being locked in and not like just being disruptive at all. I liked that. I was like, impressed, because there is something going on with this younger generation where they're going out to theaters a lot. I mean, I think I mentioned it on the show, like when I went and saw Sheep Detectives. I ran into those two guys after the movie that are probably college aged, but they had just signed up for A-List, and they're like, dude, we are going to see as many movies as we possibly can this summer. And that's like, I mean, that's great to hear, because the industry is going to do well. I mean, like, the industry is like in a very positive flow right now.
The reality is, the last few years, the industry, the problem hasn't been with kids going to see movies. Kids have gone to see movies at pretty decently high levels the last few years.
Yeah.
Young adults to kids as well.
Yeah. I'm more talking about like younger adults. Yeah.
Yeah. In their 20s and their 30s. Right. Those groups have been going to see movies for a while. It's really unfortunately the older people who have dropped off the map.
Yeah, you're right.
And so
you're totally
movies
right.
that get made for older people a lot of the time are not doing well right now. Whereas they start diving into things for younger people, and not young people, but young adults, and they're starting to hit big. So,
and I don't think that we have enough data to talk about the different genres right now, because really the only one that's super successful right now is horror genres.
Yeah, I think
rom-coms are struggling, straight up comedies are struggling.
Yeah.
And at some point that is going to cause an issue, because you can't expect there to be a horror film coming out every week that's going to save the box office.
In some ways, video game movies are starting to kind of hit big. The children's movies still do great. Toy Story and Minions this summer are going to do gangbusters.
Oh yeah, they're going to do great. But I'm just worried that younger filmmakers are not delving into any other genres but maybe horror, thriller.
Well, that's because those are the cheapest to produce.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the reality. They can get people behind them on those, and you can have an interesting hook with especially horror.
Yeah.
So I
we'll
think
see.
That's the alluring thing.
The good thing is A24 is not abandoning any genre.
No,
because they've got like that rom-com coming out later with Callum Turner and the girl from Top Gun that I can't ever remember her name. It's a weird conceit for a film, but it's basically like The Purge, but with relationships.
Yes.
And A24 did really well with the drama and Materialists. So they're the one studio that right now is at least not completely abandoning every genre.
And they're starting to get into major motion pictures. And I mean, major motion. Like this was $10 million. They're making an Elden Ring film, which I have to imagine is $100 million budget. Probably their most expensive film ever.
Dude, I have really high hopes for that movie because Alex Garland's involved.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah.
He is great when he is on. Like, I did not like, I can't remember what the name of the movie. Yes. Good Lord, that movie was not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me at all. But his stuff that I've really enjoyed has been, like, I loved Civil War. I know he co-directed Warfare, but I thought it was great.
Warfare's phenomenal. Brutal, but it's phenomenal.
Did not get enough love, in my opinion, at all.
No, there's a reason for that. Yeah,
there is a reason for that. You're right. So, anyways, I mean, good for A24 to have this success with Backrooms, because it's only going to mean bigger things for them. Now, I hope what it doesn't mean is that they're getting to a point where they're going to have to sell, or just, because you get so successful that the next step is selling. So I hope that they don't get to that point, unless, like, I don't know, if like Sony bought them, maybe it'd be okay, but I don't know. I don't know who I'd want to buy them.
Sony's not doing a great job on the theatrical side, aside from.
But you know what, though, if Apple bought them, that would be interesting. That there could be, because then you've got all the capital that you need.
Need Apple to step up theatrically.
Yeah, I mean, they do need to do a bit better with that. I mean, F1 was pretty awesome, and they saw that.
And they've signed for a Mistborn movie, the Sanderson adaptation there. To come out in theaters. So we'll see. We're starting to dip their toes.
Yeah. I mean, didn't they release Killers of the Flower Moon in theaters?
Yeah, but it underperformed. They need to find a way to advertise better for some of that stuff. But also, how many people really wanted to go see? I don't know. That was an expensive film.
I liked that one better than The Irishman. But...
Sure, it's a $200 million film, though. How many people are going to see that movie?
That's true. That's true.
I get it. You want to. What it was is Apple can blow money. And
exactly.
Martin Scorsese in the movie he wants. So.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very much so. So I don't know, like, not necessarily a huge ringing endorsement for Backrooms, but I mean, it's. I think it's. Is it worth a watch? I don't know. I don't necessarily think I'm in.
I didn't love it.
I don't know if I'm at a point where I could comment and say that it's worth a watch, but if you grew up understanding what this whole liminal spaces thing and you're into that, then maybe you'll enjoy it. I know that
there's a reason to me that the cinema score is at a B-. The post track was super low on a B scale, basically, and the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is very low for what it is. It's not a crowd pleaser, unlike another horror movie that came out recently.
Right. And even I didn't go see Passenger, but a couple of people that I trust when it comes to horror films said that they liked it. So
I don't think I'd like it.
I might.
Here's my problem with Passenger. The teaser is fascinating. It looks like a low budget horror movie, similar to It Ends that came out on Letterboxd Video Store this year from that guy from FSU. But then the actual trailer comes out and you find out that the teaser is just the beginning of the movie. And so the back half of the movie does not look interesting to me at all. It just looks like a generic horror film from the 2010s. That's my issue with it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, the good news is we're about to hit the summer stride and we've got a lot of movies coming out next week. Now, the one that's tracking the best as far as financially is Scary Movie.
Yes.
It's going to dominate. Now, I have not seen one Scary Movie before.
I have seen bits and pieces, but I've never seen one.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. So I am not interested in seeing Scary Movie at all. So I am pretty jazzed about seeing Masters of the Universe, though.
Yeah.
So I will be going to see that. Now, there's a much smaller film coming out that I definitely want to see called Power Ballad.
Okay.
If you don't know Power Ballad, the guy that did Sing Sing, or not Sing Sing, Sing Street, I'm sorry, Sing Street and Once, and there was a direct to streaming one that he did more recently than Sing Street. But in my previous podcast, we love Sing Street. That's like one of the movies that has a great soundtrack.
I still need to see it.
It's just a fun movie.
It's been on my watch list since I listened to you guys talk about it.
Yeah. The Power Ballad, it's a very short film. It's only an hour and 38 minutes. I am going to try and go see Power Ballad at R because I like John Carney a lot. He's the guy that wrote and directed this. I'm trying to remember the name of the streaming movie that he did. Oh, Flora and Son. It was okay. That had Eve Hewson in it, who is about to be featured in Disclosure Day, and who's Bono's daughter, if you didn't know that. But he's had a really good track record of films, in my opinion. They've always been really enjoyable. And from what I understand about Power Ballad, I've seen a couple of out of theater reactions. Richard Roper is one that I saw, and he's, a guy that's been a critic for freaking ever. He said that it is very good and don't sleep on it. So I'm going to try and go see Power Ballad as well. I'm not promising that I'll get out to it, but I do want to see it. But it's interesting. I'm kind of shocked that it's rated R. Based upon the trailers that we've seen for Power Ballad, it does not look like a rated R film. So that's interesting. It's
kind of nasty.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, it's interesting that it's rated R. So, because Sing Street, like his other films are not really that way. So this is. I'll go see it. I like Paul Rudd a lot. So, and I think that Nick Jonas looks like he's hilarious. So I'm going to try and see it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
yeah.
But Masters of the Universe, I've already got my ticket for Masters of the Universe, so I'm definitely going to see that. Now, Masters of the Universe is going to suffer this week because of Scary Movie, but also it doesn't have what I would call the premier PLFs, because you've still got Mando and Grogu that are going to be in IMAX, and Scary Movie is also going to be in IMAX. Huh?
Master of the Universe is getting some IMAX. That's like an official thing that happened recently.
Oh, is that recent? Oh, I wonder if they got our local one then. Well, I'll look offline. But was that a change? Because they didn't have them before.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Is that because Mando and Grogu's doing so poorly?
I'm sure.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say. I'm not like excited that movie's failing, but I mean, that is pretty cool. That dude, that's a change. I'm very excited now.
I'm give 3-week dates. I'm sorry, Dune shouldn't have 3 weeks exclusive, just in case. There's no reason to do 3 weeks exclusive. 2 weeks exclusive makes sense.
Yeah,
no reason in the summer season, especially 3 weeks exclusive. That's just dumb.
Oh, weird. Okay. So here,
unless you're Chris, right. I don't know why IMAX signs that.
So they have taken. This is interesting. Our local IMAX, which we only have one, has removed Mando and Grogu from IMAX, but they haven't announced what's going to be on IMAX yet. They don't have Scary Movie on IMAX either. So I'm guessing they're going to put Masters of the Universe, but they just haven't announced it yet. That's weird. Okay, well, I'm going to have to pay attention to that, because the ticket that I've got right now, I am not excited about at all, because it's a 4:45 showing on what I would call a mid-tier large format, which is AMC Prime. Not my favorite at all, but it's like the second best in town, so compared to IMAX. So, well, this is exciting news, and I'm glad you told me about it.
You're welcome. Breaking news, scooped.
Yeah, no, that is great. I didn't know about that. Mando and Grogu suffering.
Yeah, it is what it is. We talked about that a little bit earlier. It's just kind of,
we did.
If it were a better movie, if it weren't essentially a streaming movie, probably be doing better. But the people came out the first weekend and dropped off like a rock after that. So it was very front loaded with fans at that point.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on social media, Mikey?
I am on X every once in a while at the Michael Nip. Letterboxd is where you'll see my movie takes, but most of my time is spent on our Discord, and I'll let Garrison tell you more about that.
You can find me at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3 on Twitter. You can find me at GRyfun on Letterboxd. You could find us at Cinema Debrief on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us at cinemadebriefpod@gmail.com. If you want to get into our Discord, we've got many channels in there. You can talk about movies, TV shows, pretentious things. You can talk about comics.
Yes.
You can talk about your pets. You can come in there and talk about video games. There's a lot of different stuff there. We have great conversations almost weekly, and it's just a fun time.
Daily,
a lot of,
not almost weekly, almost daily.
But I feel like the big conversations are usually week, like there's one day a week where it just like keeps going, and I have to put my phone away at work.
That's true. You're right.
Or it just stops buzzing, because after a while, Discord will stop sending you notifications if like a bunch of messages in a row get sent.
Yes, that's right. That's awesome.
We will see you guys next week for Dark City and Masters of the Universe.